Greetings and salutations, ladies, gentlemen, hipsters, space frogs, and Tim. If you want to see Startup, head back to episode 0, but otherwise, we're continuing on and beginning the adventures of Great Caliban, the race of the sort of coalition government of the Kammarians. A direct democracy in which citizens vote on every issue through simple yes and no communicators. They grew up on a bleak and unforgiving tundra world. As a result, due to their small size and the need to protect their young at the expense of having many, they're weak, well in fact they're just tiny, they're about the size of your hand. They're very slow breeders, but their intelligent, fierce, individualist competition has encouraged only the sharpest and most creative amongst them, whilst the paucity of resources on their homeworld has resulted in them being extremely thrifty and conservative with resources. They've discovered warp travel, the slowest but freest form of FTL travel in Stellaris, and they prefer to engage in ship-to-ship combat at a distance with missiles. Right then, let us head to the world of Caliban. Okay, so we can go up to 1,000 stars. We're doing a medium galaxy because, frankly, I did a little bit of pre-testing, and more than that, my computer doesn't really enjoy it. We'll be in a spiral galaxy with 4 arms. 17 starting AI empires sounds good, because they will fragment after a while, and we'll actually get quite a few more. 4 of them will start out with a little advantage in, yes, resources, technology, and population, but that doesn't mean they're fallen empires. Fallen empires are different, and we'll talk about those when we encounter them. However, at the start, 17 AI empires, full spacefaring empires, will exist, which, spread them out amongst 600 stars, may not seem that much. We're definitely doing this in normal difficulty. We permit any FTL method. We can lock the galaxy into warp, hyperdrive, wormhole specifically, but no, all 3 are permitted. Starting the game. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. I love the concept art for this game. It is an absolute pleasure to view. And the music. The evokes so many different sci-fi worlds for me, from books, soundtracks. Aha! Ah yes, and our ruler, Hephanir, an investor with warlike tendencies. Interesting. In the eons since the first primitive communities took shape on the windy plains of Caliban, our civilization has spread and prospered. As our technology progressed to a level that allowed for instantaneous communications, our inefficient nation-states merged together to form a true democracy, with every citizen having a say in important decisions. Now, after the successful creation of several experimental subspace fields, the finest minds of Great Caliban have finished development of the first warp drives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. And as we can see, our ethics are somewhat individualist, heavily materialist, and we have an affinity for tundra worlds. Begin. Alright, so game is starting paused. I think I've disabled the AI help for now, which is probably for the best. So as you can see, we've got research options. Let's take a brief look at Caliban. Okay, so as you can see, it's a bleak world, not much in the way of vegetation, but we do have our aspirational cities aboard. The site, well, we'll get onto that. Our habitability is 100%, it's our home world, and we can see that it produces 5 of each of food, minerals, and energy, and a little bit of general research with slightly more in society, although I don't think we're necessarily using it. The planetary governor is Governor Hanakon. Governor Hanakon, let's look at his traits, is eager. He's cheap. Okay, so this guy was clearly elected to the position for no other reason than he was. He had a few. I think he just sort of bought his way into the job. All right. Well, we're going to keep him because of his rather minimal skill. The planet gains a bonus to happiness, construction time, and block clearing time. Block clearing time. We'll take a look at now. When we look at the surface of the world. So the surface of Caliban is, as mentioned, pretty bleak. But you notice these little things here. These are tile blockers. Well, before we get into tile blockers, let's talk about the planetary minigame. Each planet has a size up to, I think, 25 is the maximum, which represents the number of workable tiles. Literally the size of the planet. Now, some tiles, in fact, I think every tile on this planet has a local resource bonus, such as a tile is good for physics research, it's good for collecting minerals, and you can build you can build buildings like, say, the power plant, which enhances the existing production of an environment. So that's quite useful. But some of these tiles, as you can see, have tile blockers on them. For instance, the industrial wasteland. This region is covered by ruined industrial complexes and toxic soil, detritus from a past age of progress. Yes, reaching this enlightened stage, we engaged in somewhat horrific pollution of the planet, and now these areas are basically unusable. Similarly, inequity over the years has resulted in vast areas covered in the equivalents of undeveloped nations. They're covered by vast shanty towns and slums filled with the poor and the outcast. And because of that, they can't actually contribute any resources. Eventually, we're going to want to clear these, but for now, we might want to look at building up this area, seeing if we can't improve production of a desired resource. And of course, we can also move our little fellas around. So, for instance, if we want a bit less food and a bit more, a few more minerals, we can get those guys, shift them over there, just click and drag, and because we're not actually forcing them off the planet, they have to obey. Now, we want to keep at least as much food as there are people on the planet. Having lots of extra food increases growth rate, which is good, but right now minerals are more important for us. So I'm actually quite tempted to maybe move that again, use that. But to start with, as an opening move, we might consider building a mining network there to increase the number of minerals we produce. Because minerals are used to, build things, including ships and stations that can be used to mine further resources. In the early game, minerals are pretty important, then it's energy, then it becomes minerals again, actually. But first, back to Caliban. We'll get to this when war happens. There is a spaceport, it's further here, Botios 2, operating around Caliban, and that's okay, so that's got a few ships in orbit at the moment, but it's also the place where we can build more ships, and funnily enough, building more ships is exactly what we're going to do. That's interesting. We've got a bonus. Well, we'll take a look at our leader in a moment, but I think as a good start, we can open up with a science ship. This is the pre-generated science ship, and really there's not much I need to do to improve it at this stage, so Yeah, we'll build a Hesendrop class science ship. Speaking of which, our existing science ship, Ilmac the Crusader, is operated by Ras, a carefree researcher, but he's good at dealing with anomalies, which is good. We are going to send him straight up to survey the system of Prospero. Yeah, that's going to take him on a course all around our home system, which interestingly includes Siltum's fortress, a gas giant surrounded by different moons. I don't think any of them are habitable, which is a shame. That would have been very useful, but frozen is supposed to Arctic, completely uninhabitable. But there may be resources we can exploit. Oh, and before we do anything else, technology, certainly before we pause. So, there's three branches of technology that you can research at the same time in this game. Physics, society, which sort of doubles up as biology and ecology, and engineering. So our physics head researcher has an expertise in voidcraft, which I think is mostly to do with getting around in space. Our social researcher, Rapalkin, is an expert in statecraft, mostly dealing with social type affairs. And Veltassa here is just that little bit better at everything. She's just generally kind of brilliant. So we might actually set her on a different thing. Now, research isn't a strict tree, it's more like a deck of cards, and the cheaper techs tend to be weighted so that they appear more often, and some techs are necessary as prerequisites before others, but you can just get the occasional rare, relatively overpowered tech that comes up to be researched. Ooh, gravitic sensors. Gravitic sensors are tuned to look for any gravitational changes in space, such as produced by the presence of a starship. Locks gravitic sensors, increases survey speed, and it increases sensor range. Ooh. Oh, and it's a voidcraft one, so we get a bonus to research. Tell you what, I think that's useful because we're seeking the wonders of the world. Rapalkin, then, the New World's Protocol. Frankly, it's an excellent start no matter what you're doing. So the New World's Protocol is calculating required resources and gear required to establish a planetary colony, allows us to herd brave pioneers into grand arc ships, confident that they will mostly survive the long voyage across the stars. That's basically what we need. We need a New World's Protocol. Because without that, we can't actually expand into any new systems. And finally, engineering. Improved spaceport. Creates Corvette assembly yard, spaceport level 2. Okay. Although that might be useful elsewhere. Nanocomposite materials. Reinforced nanocomposite hull plating provide an extra layer of protection that could be the difference between life and death in a composite situation. In a combat situation. And that increases armor. Deep space outposts creates defensive. None of those are really great. I feel like maybe this is worthwhile, but really he's not. No, Rapalkin's not using it, getting the best out of it. So I think we need to assign Veltassa on, our star to the society job. And I know Rapalkin's a bit wasted in engineering, but the fact of the matter is, we need that extra bonus of speed working on the New World's Protocol. It costs more than the other two. It's harder to get to, and I'm actually inclined to make use of a special, I think, edicts we can get through from government. Oh, policies. Policies, incidentally, is where we can do things like determine, the migration, slavery within our nation. What our first contact protocol is, peaceful by the way, we're not starting any wars, just off the bat in this game. Also determines what votes who has votes, whether it's a free vote or primary species only. At the moment, it's free vote. And resettlement similarly is prohibited. And I don't think we can... Yeah, we can't get forcible resettlement because we're individualists. That's fair enough. And orbital bombardment. We can't go to full orbital bombardment either. And I think purges are just flat out, yeah. So, what we can do is we can spend some of our influence, which is our political clout, as it were, to improve research at the cost of others. And it will cost us 1 influence per minute, so we won't really increase our influence as quickly. Hell, it uses up a third of our influence, but it's going to speed up society research at the cost of engineering and physics. It is a net benefit. We can also, if we ever want to employ an information quarantine to decrease ethics divergence, keep people closer to our original ethics at the cost of research. But right now, research is sort of the main goal. Come to think of it, I think we should... If I check Caliban's surface, do we have anyone on something that produces research? No, we don't. That's a shame. Alright. In that case, well, right, we'll start with taking advantage of this and building that mining network. It's going to take 200 days, which, speaking of which, means it's time to head off pause and into space. As you can see, our Ilmac the Crusader is continuing along his little path, scanning world by world. I don't think Caliban actually has any moons, does he? No. Just the space station. Yes, we do actually have a little fleet, our first armada, which consists of 3 tiny corvettes: Hempest the Fearless, Titar the Young, and Hitab the Silent, who I can only assume are the actual captains of each of these little locations. So yes, as you can see, we have scanned Prospero, our Class M Red Dwarf. Now there's no special resources here, so we won't get any benefit by building anything on top of it.
Construction complete.
Speaking of which, we have a new science ship, Olimac the Learned. Now, we need to assign a scientist to run the ship, and he's actually going to be doing surveys outside of the system. But as we can see, all of our scientists are busy leading research or commanding ships, so we can recruit new scientists. Unfortunately, there's some limits as to who's actually available to be recruited. So, for instance, we have Darmel, a particle physicist, Rapalkin, a biologist. I'm quite tempted to take him and just put him on. Oh no, he's not. No, not when he was going to And a careful leader. Who's a lower anomaly failure risk. Okay, that's pretty good for exploration. So we're going to spend 50 influence, which is pricey, but we will eventually recover. And we'll hire this fellow, Hagamon. Now has command over Olimac the Learned. If we head out to the galactic map, we can take a look at where we are in the galaxy. We'll sort of wonders there. We're actually pretty close to the galactic core. When you think of it, that's surprising. But yes, this area here, Great Caliban, is what we can effectively claim. What might be considered our borders. And these are stars around us. We start in a nebula. That's not good. Nebulas give a travel speed penalty to ships in interstellar flight. Still though, Andak only has planets. Toxic world, barren world, not interesting. Sathimar. Since we have the opportunity, let's look and see if anything looks interesting. Tundra Wall. Oh, a world not unlike our own, with more space, I'd just like to add. Oh. Yes, that's well worth looking into. A tropical world. Not the most satisfying place, in fact very against what we can do, but barren. Still though, yes. So, Olanak means to head to Sathimar and study the system. Prospero is that way. Just use the little shortcut. Right, and pause. Whilst that's happening, yeah, he's going to head off. Olanak here. Well, have him on, but I like to think that it's named after a notable scientist of the past, Olanak the Learned. Okay, so we can actually pop into a short and yeah, we can actually follow him through space. Oh, and there. At that moment, it's our. Hagnon has the great privilege to conduct the first ever interstellar
anomaly found.
Oh, surveying Siltrum's fortress. Oh, sorry. Garbanog's dwelling. Efforts to map the surface of this moon have identified a strange mountain formation in the southern hemisphere. It does not appear to have formed naturally. But this is not a good place. It's a very great. It's an interesting anomaly that they found, but it's too risky for our one-star scientist to go into. So we're going to leave B for now, but we can research it at a later date. So once one of our scientists has really started to Garbathog's dwelling, named Barren World. Speaking of worlds of interest, have we found anything here? Yes! So Siltum's fortress, a gas giant, but can produce energy credits for us. So if we get our Remol the Abandoned, we can send him here to build a mining station. Which reminds me, we really still haven't looked at our leader yet. So, Chancellor Hephanir. She, I believe, yes it's she, is an investor producing extra energy credits. Good lord, we are really focused on energy credit production. I mean, I really need to look into that specifically, but you know, all of the little advantages we have. And she is warlike. Ships and armies cost less. Given ships and armies cost less, I wonder what. Maybe I have a slight bonus to. That is odd. I was thinking maybe I have a slight bonus towards the cost of building these things. Yeah, I want to. Let's set the game continuing. So we've got a guy on here. It's reptilized. Additional details. Right, so after all of that, yeah, he's producing 6. That's surely. So power plant base 1. Base 1, power plant adds 3. Adjacent planetary administration, because an adjacency bonus from having the capital nearby, is 1. So already 5, and then oh wow, so like a 35% bonus from individualist and thrifty, and our and the Chancellor is an investor who believes in sound economic investments. Well, that's excellent.
Hostile fleet detected.
What? Object. It's been detected on a direct course towards the Andak system. I mean, we're not going towards the alien system, but still.
Situation log updated.
So we encountered some form of alien vessels in the Andex system. These strange objects have been flagged as the Alpha aliens.
Construction complete.
More about them. I thought I was paused. We should proceed with caution. Damn right. It did not take long for the Great Caliban to come across intelligent alien life. The fleet's report to the Kammarian capital somewhat understates just how alien these forces appear, and only in passing mentions the failure to open comms. Pause. Yes. It's been identified in the Andex system. Ah! It's almost like some sort of space whale. But we can't assume that these are just... Okay, so that's society research. Alright, we can spend our... we can shift our society researcher from, say, the World's Protocol on to trying to find out more about this alien. But that's going to slow down our colony time. Ah, no. New life and new civilizations. That's the rule, isn't it? I mean, we're not 75 yet. Yep, it's going to take 6 months. That's barely a drop in the ocean where society research costs are concerned. Let's find out about this Alpha alien. Whatever threats it may present. Oh yeah, there's a black hole near us, isn't there? Yeah, we don't really know anything about that. We haven't been there. It's not within our scanners. We don't really have any intel on it. It's an interesting sort of place. Speaking of Savannah, what have we studied here? We studied the barren world, not the tundra world I was hoping we investigate. That would be nice. You know, I'm quite tempted to survey that. Then. System. Okay, so I get you to go there and survey the system, starting with that. There we are. Caliban has finished construction, so we should have, yes, a ton of extra minerals. We're not that good at producing minerals by any stretch. It's not like the energy in which we are almost godlike at. Oh yes, and we're very slowly producing a new pot there. It's not something I'm going to focus too much on, but it's something. It is a thing to be aware of. It's like Garbanom's dwelling. Yeah, we still don't have the tech for that. And we don't have really enough minerals to produce anything new yet. But that's fine. We do have the construction ship working on Sodrum's fortress. It'll be presumably, given its energy and a gas giant, scooping up hydrogen from the outside. We can directly control 7 planets. Nice. But yeah, they are presumably just scooping up hydrogen. I say scooping. You see, actually just scooping hydrogen from the top of an atmosphere of a gas giant, that's not really practical. The quantities around, you would spend more fuel scooping than you would getting collecting it. And by the time you got low enough to collect liquid fuel, trying to fly through that, the atmospheres, the atmospheric pressures involved. Thank you. Crush. Utterly. So eventually we probably want to colonise that. But first, I suppose we want to we could build something. No, first we can build a mining station. First we can't build a mining station, but we can fondly imagine building a mining station in a few months once we have the minerals for it. See, this is why I insisted on putting so much into the mineral production.
System survey complete.
Oh, excellent. Oh, and she's gained a level. Ras has gained a level. Yes, no, yes. So what's the failure risk on that? Right, frankly, I think it's time to send her out to investigate. Bralix also has a ton of stuff to investigate. Let's start with that tundra world, because that's, again, the most pressing thing. We want places to colonise. We have to spread out, find new worlds and new, not so much civilizations as places to live. How have we been doing time-wise? Half an hour. I'm not sure whether to make these an hour or 40 minutes for these videos, so I suppose it depends if anything happens in the next 10 minutes or so. But yeah, we definitely have our own goals here. As the New World Protocol, the New World Protocol isn't really doing anything right now because they're investigating the Alpha for aliens, which will be done in a couple of months. That's slightly annoying. Oh, and here on the galaxy screen, we can see what we're already harvesting from this system, which is very nice. Oh, and we can harvest even more energy. Does Siltrum's fortress mine? Siltrum's fortress produces armaments, small nuclear missiles. Yeah, I don't think it gets any bonuses. It's just straight up. Hello, we produce extra energy credits at what I assume is no extra cost. But you know, it's got a nice little basic defense to it, which seems almost more cursory than anything else. Oh, thank goodness! Mining station time.
Special project complete.
Oh, how. The entities encountered by our fleet some time ago are spaceborne forms of life. Quickly nicknamed Space Amoeba, following an analyst's gross misreading of initial sensor output, the creature is in fact larger than the average Kammarian corvette. Further study is warranted. We may choose to either remotely monitor the creature and its kin from Caliban, or attempt to swiftly bring down a specimen to study, and eventually commercially exploit its remains. We expect our fleets to make short work of the creature, begins the Space Amoeba specimen event chain, issue a special project for remote Space Amoeba study. Yeah, our fleets can't even hope to touch them, so...
Situation log updated.
Remote study it is. Again, it's more society research we're not doing. No, we need to double down and focus on the New Worlds Protocol for now. Yeah, that's the...
System survey complete.
Oh, so Hephanir is now fully surveyed. And has a lot of society research to pull in, actually. There's that tropical world. That massive tropical world. Good lord, is that fully sized? Ah. I mean, look at that. There's Titanic life. Hazardous weather. Great works excellently on windmills, terribly on habitability, not great on happiness. Titanic life. I think it's completely uninhabitable for us because it's pretty much the opposite of our life. You know, anything there would crush us. But oh, look at all of that sexy space. If we end up integrating any species that can survive on tropical worlds, then no, absolutely that is worth taking. But more immediately, it's probably not. Why did I pause? Oh, I need to send him off to a new system. Yes. Alright, you can go to Dorfil. Good luck. But yeah, Safama.
Hostile fleet detected.
Oh. Space amoeba from the spaceborne organics has been detected on a direct course towards the Bralic system. Yeah, that's the case. Hopefully we'll evade it if it decides to give us any trouble. 25 months remaining. No, we'll space amoeba afterwards. After we've researched. Yeah, we don't know if it's...
Evading hostile fleet.
Oh. Yes, get out of the way.
Situation log updated.
The Knorr system was that. Knorr, it's worth mentioning, is one of the Paradox team. The beta aliens there in the Knorr system. Okay. Appears to be almost like a shining blast of light. It's worth checking. Yeah. Well, let's hope that for the moment it stays away, because I really don't have to spend energy or the research on trying to figure out what those are just yet. I mean,
hostile fleet detected.
Towards an unknown system. What's in the Crusader? The Crusader is escaping. That's what the Crusader is up to. I'm going to end up having to research this. Oh my goodness! Oh, a very nearly full world, very nearly full tundra world. Oh, Bralix needs to be on the list. Okay, yeah. And once again, we've got situation log. More research required. 3 months. What happened there? It was 38 months before. That is bizarre. Well, in that case, we're just going to have to take a bit of time to observe some space amoeba. Frankly, it might be worthwhile. Ah, and Prospero is done. Alright. Hull points, damage. That's fine. It's just a mining station. What is the upkeep of mining stations? 4 station maintenance. Well, I think 2 for the one in orbit, and then yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. Well, for the moment, then, let's head to Tyson. What would make sense? Saturn. That's a good start. Yeah, we could definitely use the research station. Enter orbit for now. We can always build one later.
Evading hostile fleet. Construction ship under attack. Station under attack.
Huh? Century, the final Crucible. Centuries ago, a group of radical priests and their devoted followers on Caliban broke away from the established religions to form their own church. These extremists called themselves the Final Crucible and have been responsible for many atrocities and acts of terror over the years. Although they have kept a low profile in modern times, we recently learned that many of their agents have infiltrated our military. These renegades have secretly been diverting resources to the construction of a small fleet of starships at a hidden facility on Caliban. When their treachery was revealed, the cultists blasted into orbit on their ships and fled to Kojaks and Cuba.
Situation log updated.
Crap! Note, they are busy attacking. We need an admiral. Sharpish. Kestrel, either. Evasion, sublight speed. Speed. What's the thing? Do you want the cheap one or do you want the fast one? I think we want the fast and young. Sorry, Admiral Rental, but Admiral Keb gets the advantage just by being likely to live long, isn't it? Keb, you got the job. Well, I wasn't planning on building anything, but now I've done this. Let's look at the convert, which is small nuclear missiles. That's it. Warp drive, combat computer, chemical thrusters. We don't really have anything else, do we? That's fission marines, and that's it. Alright, well the Polnar will do, I suppose, because we haven't got any other choice. How long will it take to build more corvettes? 56 minerals. Unfortunately, that's exactly the number of minerals we have. And make a difference, won't it? What about our enemies? The final Crucible. Skill, he's a scout. The unyielding faith, the holy avatar, and the divine fury. At least the mining station has a small number of a small number of armaments that can fire out, if nothing else. But far from ideal. I'm actually going to save here, I think, because it's 40 minutes. Alright, let's see it. Let's continue on then. Come on, first down there. How are things going here at the station? Started there. The station is responding, but it's not going well for them. That, first armada is for 75.57 military power. I put it on slow, that's why. Probably slow rather than slowest. Measure of time. Unyielding faith has taken a bit of damage. Not as much damage as the Kojogs keep mining stuff.
Hostile fleet engaged. Evading hostile fleet.
Oh yes, because of the space amoeba. Normal speed then. Moments like this we find out just why it is that I have a terrible computer. Keb could be doing better. Good lord, it's Keb versus... It's Keb, brother versus brother. It really is Keb versus Keb. Two corvettes down. One on either side. We've got a slight advantage, but we've got an advantage. Let's get him. This one was wrong, but cause him trouble. Browix. System. Because it's too useful. That's fitness. Construction ship. Easy. That's fine. First Armada is having some trouble.
Evading hostile fleet.
Okay. Construction ship. Hackanon, over in presumably Dorful. Hackanon's level. Well done. You keep your job for now. At least Remel the Abandoned isn't particularly damaged. There's a bit even corvettes there.
Construction complete.
Oh. Okay, habitable world survey. We now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Caliban. Yes, with all of the tundra worlds we've discovered. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalogue the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable, life-bearing worlds.
Situation log updated.
Pause. The final Crucible. Habitable world survey. Survey 8 habitable worlds. Space amoeba observation is already underway, because we need to identify whether those things are going to be problematic or not. And yes! Right. I think it's go join.
hostile fleet detected.
Hopefully the cavalry will arrive just in time. Okay, yes, Tartar the Young, Tartar the Silent, ganging up on the Divine Fury. Which is excellent.
Situation log updated.
Our valiant space forces have skillfully disabled a ship in the cultist armada. It's mostly intact and we are picking up faint life signs from inside its hull. Once we have eliminated all threats in the immediate vicinity, we should conduct a boarding operation to secure any survivors. They may be able to tell us more about the ultimate motives of the final Crucible. Prepare the breaching charges. So a special project.
Situation log updated.
Situation. Board cultist ship. All the cultist ships will be disabled by our forces. We should conduct the boarding operation to secure prisoners and intelligence assets. This will put engineering. Fleet to combat stats. Total damage output, total damage to hull, damage to armor, hit ratio that everybody hits.
Special project complete.
Ah. The space amoebas. The name is stuck, as the pronunciation of the proper xenotaxonomic denominator is too unwieldy for the average Kammarian, are solitary animals when left to their own devices. All but the youngest specimen are qualified by all but the youngest specimens are accompanied by quasi-independent flagella, organisms spawned by the amoeba and programmed through liquid RNA-laced secretions to do the bidding of the host. These flagella are capable of manipulating and even attacking objects in an impressive yet restricted range around the host, periodically returning to lodge inside the host amoeba's body for reprogramming. There are potential military applications of the graceful patterns of circulation apparent in the flagella's movement. Fascinating indeed. Gives us a bonus to evasion. Well, that's out of the way. I certainly did not expect that as the start of our day.
Anomaly found.
Okay, we found sensor echoes have indicated the presence of some kind of unidentified object deep within the atmosphere of this gas giant. You be for now. We'll come back. Right. I think the yes, that's Cab, isn't it? Cab and Cab being as they are. Patch. I think you'll find that was. Right. Well, they've gained. Cab, at least the younger, has gained a little bit more experience. So actually, Cab the elder is just going to have to keep at it for now. There's a lot of things. Ilmac should be doing research. Bramix. Surveying system. Rimmel. Finished Killjoys. Keep. should have headed to Southern and started. Yeah, just enter the Southern, basically. Also, we know that Space Amoeba.
Hostile fleet detected.
Passive. Won't move towards hostile targets. We want to come back for hostile targets close enough. And those guys just seem to be aggressive. That's fine.
Hostile fleet detected.
Right, how are we doing? We've got plenty of energy. We're slowly building back up influence. Got minerals. Situation. And we could do some research. Just keep going for now. 21 months remaining on colony ships. You know what? Yeah, it can wait. I think.
Special project complete. Situation log updated.
Boarding action. How are we doing on time? Okay, I think we'll call this to a close soon. Though the survivors offered stiff resistance, our boarding party was able to secure several prisoners from the disabled cultist starship. From them we have learned that this conspiracy goes far deeper than we initially suspected. The agents of the final Crucible include several flag officers and high-ranking officials within our government. Mass arrests are being made on Caliban, and all assets belonging to this cult have been seized. However, several of the starships they built in secret remain unaccounted for, and the upper echelons of the cult's leadership have vanished. We have picked up faint ion trails leading to several outlying systems. We must pursue these terrorists. That's alarming. Can go to debris. There's debris in Prospero. Has he reached? No, he's just entered Bralex. Fine, leave him at it. Doorfall is free. But yes, I think. Well, still a number of months till I've finished. I think. With the trail, remaining as we are on the trail of shift that around so that things are a little bit more where they should be. There we go. Remaining as they are on the trail of the final Crucible, it seems we have little choice but to continue hunting them down. And I think that's also enough from me for this first episode. It's been very nearly an hour. And I will see you next time as we try to actually begin to settle these rich worlds near us and to really just seek out the final Crucible and put an end to their crippling ways. Fare thee well.